Okay, this is going to be the next factoring video. This is lesson 3. We're going to start to get into factoring trinomials. Okay, all right, so what we want to always do first, we always want to try to take a GCF. Okay, that never is going to change, okay, from our process. All right, so as a reminder, you get to go to keyboard, you go to functions, you select miscellaneous, GCD. Okay, all right, 12, 11, and 2. Okay, now it's 1. So that means I don't need to take any number out. Do they have a letter in common? They have I, but that one, so there is no GCF. Okay? All right. Now, what we want to do is multiply the front number times the last number. All right? So, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the front number times the last number. 2 times 12 is 24. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to come up with a factor chart for 24. Okay? So we got to figure out the factors of 24. Now, it's very easy to start. We know that 24 divided by 1, okay, goes in. So it's 1 and 24. Let's try 2. Okay, so what we're looking for is things that aren't giving me decimals. Okay, so that's 2 and 12. Okay, let's try 3. Okay, 3 and 8. Okay, let's try 4. 4 and 6. Now, if you notice, these numbers are getting closer and closer together. Well, what's the only number left to try? 5. Now, since it's a decimal, we don't write it. Okay? Now, what we're looking for, all right, I'll put this in here right now. Check your signs. Okay? All right? These two numbers multiply, if you notice, 1 times 24, 24. 2 times 12, 24. 3 times 8, 24. 4 times 6, 24. Okay? So that's the first thing you got to check. Okay? And then what you want to do is make sure, find the set that adds up to your middle term. Okay? So we are looking for the set that adds up to 11. Okay, so if you look at these, this set, 3 plus 8, would add up to 11. Okay, now what you're going to do is use the box. Those terms are the middle terms. Okay, all right, so let me explain. Got my box. My first term goes here. That doesn't change, 12i squared. My last term goes here when we did this with the factor completely, okay? So basically the issue is we need to make these 4 terms. So this will be the second and this will be the third, okay? So I got 3i and 8i, all right? Why do I have the i's there? Because they have to add up to 11i, 3 and 8, 11, okay? Now, all we're doing is unraveling the box. Unravel the box, okay? And then write your factors. Okay? Now, how do we unravel the box? You can do the GCF stuff. Okay? So, going across, okay, I got 12 and 8, which will be 4. And they both have an I, and that's I to the first, so I first. Okay? All right, the bottom one would be 3 and 2. Okay, that's going to be 1, since that's plus 1. Okay, this has an I, this doesn't, so it stays plus 1. All right, now I would do this way, 12 and 3. Okay, that's going to be 3. They both have an I to the first is the smaller one. Okay, all right, and then the last one, all right, 8 and 12. Is 4. All right. Now, since this all has an I, this doesn't, that's how they left. So I got 4i plus 1, 3i plus 1. Okay. Once again, if you're good at doing the multiplication to figure it out, go ahead and do that. Okay. All right. All right. Now, let's go to this one. All right, so I'd go 7, 10, 3. All right, 1. They don't all have I, good. Okay, so I want to multiply 7 times 3, which is 21. Okay, let's find the factors of 21. 21 divided by 1 is 21. Okay, that's always the easiest one. 21 divided by 2. See how I get a decimal? I don't write that one. Okay, 21 divided by 3, I get 7. Okay, 21 divided by 4. All right, nope. 21 divided by 5. Nope. 21 divided by 6. Nope. And as you can see now, I'm back at 7. Okay, so that's all the factors. Okay, I'm looking for the set that adds up to what? My middle term of 10. So this set is the set that would add up to 10. 3 plus 7 would be 10. Okay, so I make my box. Okay, still the first term. Still the last term, doesn't change. This now becomes 3i to the first, 7i to the first. Okay? All right, and now we're back to, all right, the GCF stuff. Okay, we're back to 4 terms. All right, so I got 7 and 7. That should be pretty easy to figure out. The greatest common factor is going to be 7. Okay, so 7, they both have I to the first, so you can think 7 times what would give me 7? That's got to be 1. Okay, 7 times what would give me 7? That's got to be 1. This has an I, this does not, so that's just going to be plus. Okay, all right, and then this row. All right, you can do 3 and 3. I think it's pretty obvious that that would be 3. Okay, 3 plus 3, because that's plus there. That does not have an I, so 1i plus 1. All right, 7i plus 3. Okay, those are your factors. All right. Okay, so go ahead and go into go formative. Okay, and go ahead and work on these two. Okay, all right. So I'll check GCF here. Let's do that one first. Okay, 2, 9, and 9. Okay, it's 1. They don't have a variable. Okay, 2 times 9 would be 18. Let's go through the factors of 18. 1 and 18. Okay, 2 and 9. Let's divide by 3. 3 and 6, so you can see there's not many between it. All I gotta do is go 4 and 5. All right. Okay, now, all right. I am looking for the set that adds up to my middle, which in this case would be this set. This would add up to 9. Okay, so in my box, this is still the first term. This is still the last term. This will become 3i. This will become 6i. Okay, all right. So just do the GCF going across. 2 and 6 gives me 2, and this has, because this has an I to the first. 2 times what would give me 2? That'd be 1. Okay, this has to have an I to the first. 2 times what would give me 6? That would be 3. This does not have an I. Okay, all right. I want to go this way. All right, I got 3 and 9. It's going to be 3. This does not have an I, so that's 1 I to the first plus 3, 2 I to the first plus 3. Does not matter which order you put the final factors in. Okay, all right. So let's do this one. Okay, I got 6, comma 11, comma 5. Okay, got 1. All right, so I can't really do anything. They don't all have a letter. So 6 times 5 would be 30. Okay, let's go factors of 30. We know 1 and 30. Okay, all right, 2. All right, 30 divided by 2. Yeah, 2 and 15. Okay, 30 divided by 3. Yeah, 3 and 10. Okay, getting closer together. 30 divided by 4. Decimal, can't write it. 30 divided by 5. 5 and 6. Can't go any further than that because look, there's no more numbers. Okay, I'm looking for the set that adds up to 11, which would be this set. Okay, so this would be my first term, 6i squared. This would be my second term, 5i to the first. This would be the next term, 6i to the first, and obviously this would be the last one, 5. Okay, pretty obvious that this would be a 6. Okay, they both have an I. Okay, to the first. 6 times what would give me 6? That would be 1i. They both have an I, so I to the first. 6 times 1 would give me 6. All right, they do not have an I there. All right, GCF here would just be 5. Okay, they do not have an I. So I got 6i to the first plus 5, 1I to the first plus 1. Okay? All right. Now that we've gotten that, you should have a basic concept of those. Now, we're going to move into some minus stuff. Okay? Once again, all right, I'm going to check my work, okay, to make sure I don't have any, all right, 13 and 6, okay? Still 1, they don't have an I, okay? Now, 6, all right, 6 times 6 would be 36, okay? We know 1 and 36, okay? 36 divided by 2, 2 and 18. Let's try 3, 3 and 12, okay? Let's try 4, 4 and 9, okay? Let's try 5. Now, let's try 6. Okay, 6 and 6. All right? All right? Now, I can't go any further than that. Now, here's the problem. All right? I want you to put a big star. Negatives, if you see negatives, something has to change in your chart. All right, now, if you see negatives, something has to change. Now, let's say I do this. I make one side negative. Now, here's the problem. Remember, this times this has got to give me that. Well, the problem is, let's say I multiply negative 2 times 18. I get negative 36. I need this to be positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make both sides negative. Why? Because negative 2 times negative 18 would give me positive 36. Now, I am looking for the set, in this case, that adds up to negative 13. That set will be negative 4 minus 9. So negative 4 minus 9, you can think of it that way, or negative 4 plus negative 9. Either way, it gives me negative 13, okay? Box doesn't change. Box doesn't change. First term, 6i squared. Last term, plus 6. This term, minus 4i to the first, minus 9i to the first, okay? All right, doing GCF still, all right? And applying all those rules, 6 and 9. Oops. Okay, that's going to give me 3. Now, since they have an I, it's an I to the first. Okay, I can do this bottom one too. All right, let's do this bottom one too. Oops. Okay, that's negative 4 and 6. All right, 4 and 6. Okay, remember our rules from last time. If you have a minus here, all right, if it's a 2, that's got to become a minus 2, okay? So 3 times what would give me 6? That would be 2. They both have an I, so I to the first. 3 times negative 3 would give me negative 9. Once again, the negatives here. You could do the GCF if you wanted to as well. So I got 3i to the first minus 2, okay? 2i to the first minus 3, okay? So not much different. You just got to watch those negatives, okay? All right. Okay, so I got 5. Let's check 5, 22, 8. Okay, 1, and they don't have an I. Multiply that would give me 40. I know the factors of 40 are 1 and 40. 2 and 20. Okay, let's try 3. 3, nope, that doesn't work. Let's try 4. 4 and 10. Okay, getting closer. Don't have to try a whole lot. 40 divided by 5. All right, 5 and 8, down to just a few. All right, 40 divided by 6. Nope, 40 divided by 7. Nope, and now I'm back at 8. Okay, once again, just like we talked about, since I see negatives, one thing's got to change. Problem is, this times this wouldn't give me this, so both things have to be there. Okay, now I'm looking for the set that adds up to negative 22, which would be this one. Okay, all right. First term, 5i squared, minus 2i to the first, minus 20i to the first, plus 8. Okay, all right. So I got 5 and negative 20. Okay, that's 5. Okay, all right, they both have an I, so I to the first. 2 and 8. Okay, I got 2. Okay, now since there's a negative here, that's got to be a negative. And they don't have an I. So 5 times 1 would give me 5. They both have an I, so I to the first. 5 times 4, now since that's a negative, that's negative 4, would give me negative 20. Okay, so I got 5I to the first minus 2, 1I to the first minus 4. Okay? All right, so what I would like you guys to do, okay, is go ahead and try these two. Okay, so, all right, let's go ahead and do this. All right, they don't, just in the interest of time, all right, I checked to see if they have a, let's do that one first. Be easier. I don't have to switch. Okay, 8, 10, and 3. Okay, it's 1. They don't have the variable. That'd be 24. Okay, interest of time would be 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6 is the chart. Okay, all right. Now, since I see negatives, I'm going to make that, but this times this doesn't give me this, so two sides. Okay, all right. So if I look to add those up, I'm looking for the set that adds up to negative 10, which would be that one. Okay, all right, because negative 4 plus negative 6. Okay, negative 2. All right. So I got 8I to the first minus 4I to the first, negative 6I to the first, and the 3. Okay, gives you the GCFs going across. 8 and 6 would be 2. They both have an I, so I to the first. Okay, 4 and 3. Okay, would be 1. Okay, now since that's a negative there, I'll put a negative 1, and they don't have I. 2 times what would give me 8? That would be 4. They both have an I to the first. 2 times 3 would give me 6, but since there's a minus there, all right, that would be my answer. Okay? All right. All right, now let's go to this one. Whoops. Functions, miscellaneous. Okay, so I would check 6, 6, 8, and 2. Oh, whoops, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's pick another problem real quick. Goodness gracious. Sorry about that. Didn't turn out the way I wanted it. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's do this one. Instead, 4I squared minus 23I plus 15. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I would check, just interest of time, there's no GCF there. 4 times 15 would be 60. Okay, all right, factors of 60. Well, we know 60 and 1. All right, so I got 1 and 60, 2 and 30. Okay, divided by 3, 3 and 20, 4 and 15. Okay, then I would try 5, 5 and 12, 6 and 10. Okay, this is 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. Okay? All right, since I see negatives, I got to make this side. Problem is, this times this doesn't give me that, so both sides need to be negative. Okay? Now, I'm looking for the set that adds up to negative 23. That would be the set that adds up to negative 23. Okay? So from a box standpoint, I'd have 4I squared minus 3I to the first minus 20I to the first, okay, plus 15. Okay? All right? once again, I'm doing my GCFs going across. All right, so I got 4 and 20, which is 4. They both have I, so I to the first. Okay, 3 and 15. Okay, which is 3. Since there's a minus there, that 4 times what would give me 4? That's 4I to the first. 4 times what would give me negative 20? That would be 5. Since it's minus, it's minus. Okay, they don't have an I. So it'd be 4I to the first minus 3, 1I to the first minus 5. Okay? All right. Let's go on to the next thing here. Okay? Now, negatives everywhere. Okay? All right, negatives everywhere. So let's check this, do the old-fashioned way first. Okay, and then I'm going to talk about this. 2, 9, 5. All right, it's 1, they don't have I. Okay, now you got to be careful here. When I multiply that, okay, that's going to be 2 times negative 5, which gives me negative 10. Okay, factors of negative 10, we know 1 and 10. Okay, let's try 10 divided by 2, 2 and 5. Okay, all you got to do is try 3, you got to try 4. Okay, all right, now, I see negatives, so something has to change. I start by making one side negative. Okay, start by making one side negative. Now, all right, like negative 2 times 5, does that give me my top number? It does. So it's not a both sides negative deal. Okay, there's a one side negative. All right, now I'm looking for the set that adds up to 9. That would be this set, negative 1 plus 10. Boom, there I go. All right, and then I'm into my box. That easy. 2i squared, okay, minus 1i, okay, plus 10i, okay, minus 5, okay? In the interest of this, well, I'll show it instead. We've been doing it the whole time. Okay, let's do 2 and 10 gives me 2. They both have I to the first, okay? All right, and then negative 1 and, or 1 and 5. 1 and 5 would give me 1, since that's a minus, it's a minus. 2 times 1 would give me 2, there's I to the first because they both have I. 2 times 5 would give me 10, they don't have I. So this would be 2i to the first minus 1, 1i to the first plus 5. Okay, no big deal there, okay? All right, let's go to, let's do number 3 first. Okay, all right, just because I got this side. All right, I got 9, I got 6, I got 8. Okay, 1, and they don't have a letter in common. Okay, all right, now 9 times negative 8. 9 times negative 8 gives me negative 72. Okay, we know 1 and 72. We'll go 2 and 36. Let's try 3. Oops. 3 and 24. Let's try 4. 4 and 18. Let's try 5. No, let's try 6. Yep, 6 and 12. Let's try 7. No, let's try 8. 8 and 9, I can stop. All right, now, I make one side negative to start. Okay, make one side negative, all right? Now, I can check that, negative 2 times 36, boom, gives me negative 72. Now, I'm looking for the set that adds up to negative 6, okay? Now, if you were to go through and check this, you would see negative 6 plus 12 gives me positive 6, okay? Now, that's not what we're looking for. So what we have to do is we're going to make this side positive, and now this side negative. And that's the change, okay? Because now 6 minus 12 is negative 6, okay? So we didn't want that, we wanted it to be negative 6. So that would be my group there, okay? All right, so that's sort of what you have to do is if we know that it's one side negative, all right, that's how we figure that out, okay? So I got 9i squared, okay, minus 6i to the first, minus 12i to the first, okay, minus 8, all right? All right, so let's do 9 and 12. That's 3, I to the first. Okay, let's do 6 and 8. It's 2. Since there's a minus there, I put a minus. 3 times 3 would give me 9, I to the first. 3 times 4 would give me that. Since that's there, it's negative. They don't have I. So this is going to be 3i to the first. Whoops, sorry, that should have been positive. Sorry. 3i to the first plus 2. 3i to the first minus 4. Okay? All right, let's go to this one. Okay, so I got 4, 8, and 5 is 1. Okay, so I'm going to multiply. 1 times negative 5 would give me negative 20. I know 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 won't go in, 4 and 5. Okay, I'm just trying to speed this up. Video's getting a little long. Okay, all right, now, since I see negatives, I start by making one side negative. Okay, all right, let's check it. Negative 1 times 20 gives me my number. Good. Now, I'm looking for the set that adds up to 8. This adds up, or negative 8. This adds up to positive 8, so that's not what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this side positive, this side negative. So now it adds up to negative 8. Okay? 2, all right, minus 10. All right? So I got my box. 4i squared plus 2i to the first minus 10i to the first minus 5. Okay? GCF of that first row, 4 and negative 10, or 4 and 10, gives me 2, I to the first. This next row, 2 and 5, okay, gives me 1, okay, a plus, and there's no there. So 2 times this gives me this, would be 2i to the first. 2 times this would give me negative 5. Once again, if you need to use the GCFs, okay, let's say you didn't know have good multiplication skills, 10 and 5, that would have given you the 5 as well, okay? So I got 2i to the first plus 1, 2i to the first minus 5, okay? So what I'd like you guys to do, all right, we'll finish this lesson on this, okay? I would like you guys to do these 2 questions, okay? Go ahead and unpause your video, okay? Let's do that one first. Okay, I got 6, 7, and 3, that's 1. So I would multiply 6 times negative 3, gives me negative 18. All right, the chart for that, 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. That's it. Now, I'm gonna start with one side negative. Does this times this give me that? Let me check. Negative 18, yes, okay? Now, I'm looking for the set that adds up to 7. That set will add up to 7. Negative 2 plus 9 is 7, okay? All right, so that's good. I didn't have to change anything. All right, so I got 6i squared minus 2i to the first plus 9i to the first minus 3, okay? GCF's going across. 6 comma 9 gives me 3i to the first. Okay, negative 2, okay, 2 and 3 gives me 1 with a minus, okay? 3 times what would give me 6? That would be 2i to the first because they both have I. 3 times what would give me 9? That would be 3, they don't have an I. So 3i to the first minus 1, 2i to the first plus 3. Okay, all right, last question here. Okay, let's go 6. Did that again. Sorry. So we want to go 4i squared. No. Yes. 4i squared minus 8i minus 5. we got 4, we got 8, and we got 5. You can see it's a 1, okay? All right. 4 times that would be negative 20. Factors of negative 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 no, 4 and 5. Okay? All right. Now, since I see negatives, I make one side negative. Okay? Is this the same problem we did from before? It's the same exact one. All right, let's choose something different. Sorry about that. No reason to do the same problem twice. Let's do something different. Look at a different problem. Let me pick out a different one. Sorry about that. Okay, let's do this one. 12i squared minus I minus 1. Okay, doesn't have a GCF. 12 times negative 1 would be negative 12. Okay, factors would be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Okay, I'd start out by making one side negative. Okay, now I need the set to add up to negative 1. That's the middle term. Okay, this one would add up to positive 1. Okay, negative 3 plus 4. Okay, so what would I do? I'm just going to switch these and now make them negative. So that would be my factors. Okay, 12i squared, 3i to the first, minus 4i to the first, okay, minus 1. Okay, same deal, GCF going across. Okay, 12 and 4 is 4. They both have an I. Okay, then 3 and 1 gives me 1. Okay, all right, they clearly don't have 1, it's a plus. 4 times 3 would give me that. It's got an I to the first. 4 times negative 1 would give me that. So I got 4i to the first plus 1, 3i to the first minus 1. Okay, so that is the trinomial introduction on factoring. We will touch on this more, okay, as we continue to go on.